What's going on, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. We got some breaking news. Eddie Griffin, during a stand-up, he said that he doesn't believe that Malcolm-Jamal Warner drowned. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death was a blood sacrifice. And y'all got to understand that Eddie Griffin is not just putting out senseless rumors. Eddie Griffin made it very clear that him and Malcolm were battling the Hollywood machine. He compared their job in Hollywood to a war. And it's just too many discrepancies in Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death. Too many unanswered questions. We have yet to have an official autopsy report. There's no public record other than social media and mainstream media regarding Malcolm-Jamal Warner's cause of death. Now, for those who don't know, Eddie Griffin was co-stars with Malcolm-Jamal Warner on the TV show Malcolm and Eddie. And they have a history. They are longtime peers within the industry. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Something just doesn't seem right about Malcolm's death. I mean, even to this day, we got all these unanswered questions. And I just want y'all to think about it. This brother Malcolm in Costa Rica, an American treasure is what he would be considered because he was on the #1 nationally syndicated sitcom in American history, The Cosby Show. You would think that he got preferential treatment and you would have thought he had special attention while he was on there at that island. But it's a lot of unanswered questions. Now let's go to the source here where Eddie Griffin spoke out during a stand-up. And a lot of people are upset that he spoke out. Why? Because they want to hide the truth. It's too uncomfortable to believe that the Hollywood machine took out Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Peep this. Bill Cosby's son. But both his sons are dead. Cosby did something dirty. His real son dead, nigga, and his TV son dead. There's a connection, nigga. I don't believe that man drowned. I don't. He said his real son died and then his TV son died. He believes that there's a connection. And he doesn't believe that Malcolm-Jamal Warner drowned. And I couldn't agree more. And there is rituals that go on in Hollywood. They sacrifice these people and they call it art imitating life. I don't. But it ain't gonna fix shit. But nigga, he says he don't believe that he drowned, but it ain't gonna fix anything. Why? Because the industry is shrouded in occultism. Now, what is Eddie's reasoning for saying this? Listen carefully.
Too suspicious. They had too many different stories.
This is the same thing I said when it first aired. He said it's too suspicious because there's too many different stories. Too many stories.
Him and his daughter was out there swimming early in the morning. How come the mama wasn't there? That's number one. Number two, this so happens to be a doctor on the beach. And then
right, makes no sense. It just happened to be a doctor on the beach. All these witnesses that we never got to hear from. And the stories were very inconsistent. Malcolm was blood sacrificed because he was bringing the truth to his people.
That's number one. Number two, this so happens to be a doctor on the beach. And then his daughter was not in the water. She was on the beach watching her father swim. Somebody make it make sense to me. Now, nigga, I'm trying to figure out what they want to kill him for. He's the nicest motherfucker on earth.
Now, he says he's trying to figure out what they wanted to kill him for. What they wanted to kill him for. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie knows the industry took Malcolm out. He knows. And, you know, it's a lot of people out here who they refuse to accept the truth because they don't want to believe how wicked the industry really is. Because, you know, you got a lot of people who still aspire to be a part of the occult. And I call it the occult for a reason. They don't want their dreams to die. They want to be accepted in the hive, in the Masonic, demonic industry. They didn't want to let Malcolm walk away successful with director's credits, with successful television series. They didn't want that man to just sail into the sunset and live his life. No, that's not how Hollywood operates. That's not how the industry operates. And they wanted to take him out because he was spreading truth. He was speaking truth to power. He was making our people more conscious of our history in a time where that is paramount. In a time where you're not supposed to be for your people. In the most racial climate that we've been in many decades, they take out an educated brother named after Malcolm X, a successful, clean-cut brother. This would be considered America's son, America's brother. The #1 show, nationally syndicated sitcom ever was The Cosby Show. And Malcolm was on there for 8 years. So people don't believe he had power. He had podcasts where he was speaking truth about what's going on in our community. He had an Instagram that was dedicated to preaching a message of freedom. That's why they came for him. That's why they took Malcolm-Jamal Warner out.
And then his daughter was not in the water. She was on the beach watching her father swim.
And we got another story on that. They told us that his daughter was rescued by a surfer.
Somebody make it make sense to me. Now, nigga, I'm trying to figure out what they want to kill him for. He's the nicest motherfucker on earth.
Y'all hear it? Now, there's more coverage on this. Why did they want to kill Malcolm-Jamal Warner? Why did they take this brother out? Now, Comedy Hype just did their coverage on it, and I want to go ahead and review that as well. Because I'm telling you right now, they took this brother out, and it's about time the world really looks into what happened with this man's death. There needs to be a severe investigation done over there in Costa Rica. And I'm saying this because, listen, anytime you travel overseas and you are a highly acclaimed, successful celebrity, they're going to give you special treatment. They're going to check up on you. They're going to make sure you're good because other celebrities are going to that same beach and they want to make sure we got Malcolm-Jamal Warner here. This is an American treasure. And you know them people overseas, you got people overseas who still watch the Cosby Show. They still watching everything old. Anything, that's just how it goes. So they would have treated him well because guess what? They don't want to have a bad rap for their beach, for their island. Something just don't seem right. Let's see what Comedy Hype has to say.
For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony. Eddie Griffin is at it again with another controversial take. This time, the comedian has upset many with a conspiracy theory, as a clip from one of his most recent comedy shows has hit the internet. As you may know, Griffin is famous for offering conspiracy theories in both his stand-up comedy and other media content. In this new clip, Griffin talks about the death of his former co-star, Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
But both his sons are dead. Cosby did something dirty. His real son dead, nigga, and his TV son dead.
Eddie believes that Cosby did something dirty. Y'all hear that? Eddie Griffin is pointing the finger at Bill Cosby. He's saying that there's a connection between his real son dying and his TV son. And Bill Cosby did get himself out of a lot of trouble. I don't want to point the finger, but some of these insiders, such as Eddie Griffin, know how the game is played. He knows how it works. He knows how the rituals are conducted. He knows how the blood sacrifices are done. And they're always quick to call these things a conspiracy. No, it's just that we are thinking. And we're not going to believe that Malcolm-Jamal Warner died died the way they say he died without any real proof. Anyway, let's go.
I don't believe that man drowned. I don't.
In the new clip of Griffin's stand-up, he would point out the fact that both of Bill Cosby's sons have died. Here, Griffin is referring to Cosby's on-screen son, Theo, played by Warner, who passed away towards the end of July of this year, and also Cosby's real-life son, Ennis Cosby, who was murdered in 1997. Now, Griffin would then reveal his true feelings on Warner's passing, stating he doesn't believe he drowned, simply because of the multiple conflicting reports that came out after.
But it ain't gonna fix shit. Too suspicious. They had too many different stories. Him and his daughter was out there swimming early in the morning. How come the mama wasn't there? Number two, this so happens to be a doctor on the...
Right. Why the mother wasn't there? How would she be on the beach, meaning his daughter, without the mother there to chaperone the child while Eddie was swimming? What is really going on here? It seemed like they did a shabby job and they pretty much had to come up with a script. They did a lot of damage control and none of it adds up. None of it adds up. And we have, till this day, we have zero witnesses to come forward and say what they seen on that beach that day. Now think about it, ladies and gentlemen. People got cell phones and everything. Just think about this, y'all. You mean to tell me a man drowns, they rescue him, nobody pulled out a cell phone, but they say that there was dozens of surfers out there that day. Nobody was on the beach to pull out any cell phone footage. Nah, man, the CIA came through and they did what they did, allegedly. Let's go.
And then his daughter was, what? Not in the water. She was on the beach watching her father swim. Somebody make it make sense to me. Now, nigga, I'm trying to figure out what they want to kill him for.
These comments by Griffin would upset many online and were categorized as insensitive, especially considering it's been less than 3 weeks.
And see, that's something that, carnal people do. Here it is. Eddie's trying to get to the bottom of what took place with Malcolm, and people saying it's insensitive. No, the issue is people want to sweep this under the rug. And that's a defense mechanism. Oh, he was just swimming with his daughter. That's what happened. No, nothing happened. No, listen, because y'all are afraid of the truth. And this is the reason why the industry continues to siphon energy off these celebrities. This is the reason why the industry continues to carry out these hits. Because you got too many scared people afraid to address the elephant in the room. People rather remain silent because the truth is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Let's see. Rome the Gentleman says, I saw a report that said he was trying to save his daughter and got caught up in a current and drowned. Yep, you're getting different stories. Then you have another story that says a surfer saved his daughter. Then you have a story coming out to say the daughter was on the beach while Malcolm was swimming. Which one's true? Which one's true? None of those stories are true, if you ask me. None of them. Let's go.
Since news of his death broke. Of course, fans were quick to express their outrage in the comments of several social media pages. Comedian Isaiah Kelly would share the same thoughts as many by writing, "Here we go with the theories. Got another social..."
Now, why are people so upset about what Eddie's thoughts are about this? I mean, as an individual who been in the industry, a person who knows how it operates, why do we believe he's just simply spreading conspiracies? No, the man's speaking his mind. Why? Because even if him and Malcolm didn't get along that much during the filming of their TV show, he's trying to do right by the brother in his absence, in his death. Eddie Griffin is trying to do right by Malcolm. And that's how it be sometimes in life. It'll be people that you're not even really that cool with, but you work with them, you were side by side with them, and you like, you know what? Hey, I'm just gonna speak my mind. And they will be more beneficial than the fake friends. You got Jennifer Hudson crying. And we know she wiped out her whole damn family. Talking about she's heartbroken and all of that. And you got all these fakes, Tracy Ellis Ross and all of these people. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't there to support Malcolm when he was putting his podcast out. They didn't want to be guests on the show. They didn't want to take their Hollywood fame and go be guests on Malcolm-Jamal Warner's TV show or his podcast that he had on YouTube. But now he dead. They want to grandstand and shed crocodile tears. And just because Eddie Griffin and Malcolm bump heads on the show, that don't mean that Eddie don't care about what happened to the man.
Media user would share their experience attending an Eddie Griffin show where conspiracy theories were a major part, along with alcohol. They wrote, "I went to see Eddie Griffin's show in Vegas. He was mixing vodka and champagne, and the last 15 minutes was him slurring his words and speaking on conspiracy theories."
See, this is what they do. Now they want to demonize Eddie Griffin. Why? Because he just sounded the alarm. Now they're going to try to paint him out as a damn crackpot. This is what they do. Anytime you think outside the box in this here society, that's what they do. They label you a conspiracy theorist, say you a drunk. Listen, there's many homeless people that is out there in the streets, and they out there because guess what? They knew something and they spoke on it. And you know what society does? Hide them. Get them on all kind of medications. Stash them away. Make them the have-nots of society. And say, oh, that person's just a nut job. That's what they're trying to do to Eddie Griffin right now. Why? Because the man had an opinion? about what happened to Malcolm? Let's go.
With one of his sons propping him up. Eddie Griffin needs to focus on himself and his wellness, while one more user would provide context to the harm conspiracy theories may have on his direct family. We as a community must...
And that's the defense mechanism. It's insensitive. It's insensitive to the loved ones. Well, the loved ones are not speaking out. The general public has questions regarding Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death. The general public has questions. And nobody is speaking on Malcolm's behalf. But but they hide behind. Oh, he was just dealing with, he was with his daughter and why they were on vacation. That's all that happened. Don't ask no questions. That's insensitive. No, we see what the industry do. We know what the industry about. Let's go.
Stop attaching conspiracies to every death. It's insensitive to his loved ones. Another social media user would take the opposite approach and agree with Griffin. Before y'all start in these comments, let's remember Eddie is the only man to ever co-star a show with MJW. They didn't even F with each other for a while. But then they, as well as the rest of us, saw they were both two ends of the same spectrum of woke and aware Black men.
Yep.
If any man is to feel away, it would be Eddie Griffin.
Right.
And if we want to be real, the history this country has with woke, influential, positive, and healthy Black men who love Black men, a lot of times ends with them dying at 50 or earlier.
Now let's be 100. Is this individual not correct about what she's saying? They never let you walk away. But see, this is what people want to do. They want to continue to pit Eddie Griffin and Malcolm-Jamal Warner against each other because they may not have gotten along during the taping of the show, without even getting the full context of what Malcolm was talking about. He said, even though they came through two different schools of thought, they still was soldiers of the same battle, is what Malcolm was even saying. They still got up there and prayed together, and they still did what they needed to do to make sure their image wasn't taken advantage of, to make sure that they wasn't misrepresenting our people.
Be cool, y'all. That user was not alone, as several would also agree with Griffin, considering Warner's death to be suspicious. Now, if you're not familiar, both Griffin and Warner starred on the UPN sitcom Malcolm and Eddie, playing fictionalized versions of themselves. The series would last 4 seasons, with the two writing and directing several episodes.
That's right. In that same show, that was just during the show he said that. In the same show, he said they were still cool. In the same interview, they were still cool. So stop trying to let people pit these men against each other. It was not like that. Let's go.
By the time the series came to a close. Now, interestingly enough, both Warner and Griffin would bump heads several times during production of their sitcom. This was mainly due to the different storytelling styles of both men. Warner came from The Cosby Show, a sitcom famous for telling stories for the entire family, with a lesson for everyone to learn at the end. Griffin, on the other hand, came from Def Comedy Jam, and his style was more raunchy and didn't mind diving into racial stereotypes for humor. Warner had the desire to produce a show free from Black stereotypes. So what are your thoughts on Eddie?
So they had creative differences. But nonetheless, Eddie Griffin put it out here. Eddie Griffin put it out there that he doesn't believe Malcolm drowned. And I agree. And, I'm not going to talk real long about this particular topic. I just wanted to come through, share my thoughts. And I want y'all to let me know down in the comment section, what do y'all think about this situation? Is Eddie Griffin on to something? Are people going to work double and overtime to silence this man's opinions and thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section what y'all think. Should it be an open investigation?
Should there be some private investigation in Costa Rica? Should we be protesting to demand the autopsy report so we can see the real cause of death? Hey, man, y'all talk to me, man. One love. Y'all be blessed. Shalom. Peace.